Captain Glen King of the Dallas Police Force.
What information you gave a little while ago about the search for additional suspects?
Well, early this morning, members of this department and the representatives from our district attorney's office with a search warrant in their possession went to an address here in Dallas to talk to a person who was associated with the Oswald at the place where Oswald works. They were met at the door by this person, and he asked them to come in, and they went into the house on his invitation. The search warrant was not executed because he did invite them in. They asked permission from him to look around the house, and this permission was given. They were not able to find anything there that would indicate his association with this. Nothing in the house at that time to indicate it. So they asked him to come down to the police station this morning at 11 o'clock for interrogation, and he agreed to do so. He did come down this morning at 11. He is, at the present time, being interrogated. We do not have anything definite on it, whether there will be any association or not. Of course, now we don't know.
Do you regard this man as a suspect in this case at this moment?
Oh, we regard him as right now as a person to interrogate. Certainly there's not an adequate amount of information on it to indicate that he is a suspect. We do have this. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has asked us, and we join in with them in requesting that any person who was in the vicinity of the assassination yesterday, who was taking pictures, bring these pictures to the police department here. Anyone who has any information concerning this certainly should contact the police department immediately. But particularly anyone, and it's logical, I think, that since the president's motorcade was going through, someone in that area might have had cameras and might have been taking pictures. We don't know of anyone, but if there are such persons, we certainly would urge that they bring their film to the police department.
Do you know, Captain, whether Oswald continued to maintain his innocence during the hour he was questioned here this morning?
I do not know. I haven't talked to them about his questioning this morning.
Going to this home and bringing this man, asking him to come in for interrogation, does this indicate that Oswald has said something that will lead you to believe other people were associated with him in this alleged crime?
Not necessarily, no.
Is the business associated with Oswald?
Can you identify this man?
This I do not know. This I do not know. I don't want to identify him, no, because there's not an adequate amount of evidence of any involvement on his part to warrant an identification of him.
Is this the person referred to earlier as having a subversive type record who lived or who worked at the same place?
Yes.
Is he a colored man, sir?
No.
What is the present plan now as far as the crime suspect is concerned?
Actually, we will continue the investigation, attempting to find answers to all of the questions on it. The trend the investigation will take, or the route it will follow, of course, will be dictated by what happens. But
well, what do you do with Mr. Oswald as of right now? What is in?
I understand that he's been returned to the jail, to his jail cell.
Do you know when he will be transferred to the county jail?
No, sir, we do not.
Will he be interrogated here again this afternoon?
We do not know.
Could we ask you, sir, what do you know about the report that the FBI knew that Oswald was in town?
I know nothing about this.
The person that you know of, is he in any way, pictures show any indication that he knew that the slaying was
Not to our knowledge, no. Not to our knowledge. I'm not sure what pictures you're talking about. Not to our knowledge, he did not, no.
Captain King, are you in the...
This is Captain Glen King of the Dallas Police
Are you
Force.
the person who is listed on the Dallas Police Department's subversive list?
I don't think that it's gone quite to this extent yet. I don't think we are at the present time interrogating all persons who might be on a subversive list.
Did you take...
if there's any indication of a necessity for it, certainly we're not going to pass up any.
Did you give special consideration to the persons on your subversive list before the president came to town, to know where they were, what they were doing?
Yes.
Then if the FBI had known about him ahead of time and had informed your office, you would have checked up on Oswald as well?
I'd rather not speculate on what might have happened if something else had happened. I don't know.
Well, we've been given information earlier today that the FBI did know he was here and had interviewed him within the last couple of 3 weeks.
On this, I have no information.
Captain King, is there any question from the police questioning of Oswald so far that he is mentally competent to stand trial?
He seems to be, certainly.
Would you regard him as a deranged individual in any way?
He doesn't seem to be, no.
What about a lie detector test?
I do not know.
Thank you, Captain.
Sure.
Captain King, thank you very much.
Shelley.
Captain Glen King of the Dallas Police Force. This might be the wife. Is this the wife and mother?
Who are they?
Wife and mother.
And now the wife and mother of Lee Oswald walk out. The mother, as you can see, is a gray-haired woman, her hair neatly tied in a bun. The wife is petite and rather attractive. They've been under questioning now for a couple of hours. The wife and mother wait now with one of the police officials by the elevator. His mother said of Lee Oswald earlier today that he was a good son and very considerate of her feelings. She called attention to the fact that he had once defected to Russia and said that when he finally came back to the United States, he avoided calling at her home. Avoided this because he was afraid she might be subject to persecution by neighbors if they found out what he had done. His wife, they're both about the same size, both rather petite, speaks no English, speaks only Russian.
Paul, if I may interrupt for a moment, the mother just said, "We're on the way to see the boy."
All right, thank you,
Oswald,
Bob.
of course, is in his jail cell just one floor above.
One floor above the third floor of the city courthouse in Dallas. The son was only questioned for 1 hour today. The next step that's awaited is his transfer to the county courthouse. Now, of course, this presupposes that no new evidence has been developed in the last hours, in which case he may be questioned again. Here, Bob. Mrs. Oswald, have you contacted a lawyer?
Are you going to see Lee now?
And Mrs. Oswald, the suspect's mother, was just asked if she had contacted a lawyer. She shook her head negatively. Again, after being subjected to more than an hour's questioning, the mother of Lee Oswald and his Russian-born wife are being escorted up to the fourth floor of the city courthouse here in Dallas to see the suspect. Now, this, of course, is only speculation, but the fact that these two closest relatives are being brought to confront the suspect might indicate that something is breaking in the case. And then again, it could be nothing more than a simple courtesy to allow these closest members of the family to see the suspect.
Not a word. Goodness. She just said she had not had a lawyer.
And once again, in the reconstruction of the character of Lee Oswald, his mother had pointed out that he was a dutiful son who tried to protect her from persecution, as she put it, by her neighbors after he returned from Soviet Russia, where he had defected for a number of years. She said that the son never came to visit her at home because he was afraid that the neighbors would see him there and torment the mother. This is Paul Good, ABC at City Courthouse.
Something's happening. Something's happening, Brad. Here's the wife and mother again.
Thank you.